With Tamara gets a lot of haters. So let me tell you, she makes that show run. How do I know? Because they fired her, but they legit called her back 2 seasons later. This was not a 12-year hiatus. And so with Lisa, I see a lot of people love to hate her. But I do feel that that saying that, is lonely at the top, it is very true. And look, I found this episode so full of crazy hypocrisy. And I was looking at that. The one that kind of looked deranged to me was like Whitney. Like Whitney legit lost her shit. You either have like the die-hard Lisa haters who are not necessarily Bronwyn fans or Whitney fans, but they just legit hate Lisa. Sort of like how, Teresa haters, they're not necessarily Gorga fans, but they hate Teresa for some odd reason, as if like the person on your television screen somehow affects your paycheck. The part that I find crazy is the fact that Whitney starts screaming at the top of her lungs when Lisa basically reverse Unos back to her and was like, let's talk about your business. And they bleeped it out, so you don't hear it. But what they bleeped out was basically Lisa saying her business has been accused of pyramid schemes. The majority of them are borderline pyramid schemes. So anyway, she flips her wig. Why is it okay for Whitney to be all unhinged, but like Lisa gets upset and it's like she's spiraling? So that's what I don't understand. And like legit, I want to ask the Lisa haters that. When I recapped Salt Lake City last season, I was actually Team Bronwyn, and I really liked her. And I was like, Lisa, she's coming off like snobbish. So here's the thing. When Lisa's like, you're coming after me because, you got caught in your lie, 100%. And I don't feel that there is an equivalency between what Bronwyn is doing for the fact that Bronwyn was the one that brought that lie to our television screen. Instead of it blowing up in your face like that, when Andy Cohen asked you, what you could have said was, no, it wasn't something that I wanted, or no, Todd didn't like it. But at least then you wouldn't have had egg in your face. I know people try to do like Olympic style gymnastics with this, but Bronwyn at that reunion had an opportunity to not look like an asshole by just simply saying, no, I didn't like it, so I didn't buy it. That was it. You didn't have to say it was too expensive. You didn't have to say you couldn't afford it. You definitely didn't have to make up a lie about it. You could have just said, no, I actually didn't like it. Todd didn't like it, so I didn't buy it. That would have been it. But you lied about it. And here's the thing. Bronwyn does have a tell. Despite how red her blush is, and I actually think that she purposely asked this for a very red blush so that she could hide her face from blushing. Because when she gets uncomfortable or caught in a lie, her face gets really red. I'm talking about tomato red. So at that reunion, her face got tomato red. It was like, this girl's lying. And look, and now she cops to it. But the crazy part is the jeweler, she had a specific scene to film. So she was definitely going to watch that episode. So the fact that Bronwyn thought that she would be able to lie and that it was not going to be called out. So I do 100% believe that Bronwyn is looking to give Lisa her comeuppance because she is so humiliated by it that, she needs to get Lisa.